Well, hello, how are you? And it is a new year here at Blossoming Word Children's segment. It is 2022. Happy New Year, boys and girls, and parents, and everyone. We are so excited to come with our very first session to be here with you for the first time for this year. And we are about to welcome our very special guest, our featured very special guest, Mr. Joseph East. He will be with us in just a moment. And let me just tell you a little bit about Mr. Joseph East. Mr. Joseph East is a local musician and a music teacher in our town. He has been playing music since the age of 10 and teaching music for about 12 years. He likes to play and teach music lessons, drums, bass guitar, piano, and guitar. So we're going to be welcoming him in just a moment, and it looks like he's about to be able to come on with us. Let's see. We're going to get him in here. Let's see. He's going to be joining us in just a moment. Here he comes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Joseph. How are you?
I am doing really, really good today. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Just a moment. Let me see if I can fix that.
Okay. I'm doing really good. I'm having a great day. I just finished teaching a lot of music lessons today, and now I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Well, it's wonderful to have you here with us. So excited to have you here with us. And we have great things in store for our boys and girls and parents today with you, Mr. East. Let me just do the intro of you one more time because I was having a few technical issues there. Mr. Joseph East, once again, is a local musician and music teacher in our town. He has been playing music since the age of 10 and teaching music for about 12 years. He likes to play and teach music lessons for drums, bass guitar, piano, and guitar. And I also need to say that he is the CEO of Baton Rouge Musicians Academy here in our own town. So we're excited about that. Today, boys and girls, we will be talking about percussions. So let's just go right to it, Mr. Joseph. Can you please tell us what is a percussion?
Okay, a percussion instrument is anything that makes noise, and you can use to make music when you hit it, when you scrape it, or if you shake it.
Awesome, boys and girls. That sounds like something that you would enjoy doing. A percussion instrument is something that you can hit, scrape, or shake.
Yes.
That sounds fun. So can you give us an example, Mr. Joseph, of percussion instruments?
Okay. Well, believe it or not, the first primary percussion instrument that most people play is their hands.
Our hands?
Yes.
Wow.
You can use your hands to clap. So, yes, our hands is our number one percussion instrument that we have.
Awesome.
And we have some other ones. Would you like to know about them?
I would, because that's one that I didn't know. It goes with me wherever I go every day, boys and girls. Did you know your hands were percussion instruments? That's pretty cool.
Very cool. All right, here's another one that most people overlook.
Okay.
Your foot. Every time you pat your foot, you have a percussion instrument.
Yes. That's great, boys and girls. When you pat your feet or when you stomp your feet, that's a percussion instrument.
Yes, and you can play them together.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. That's really good, right, boys and girls? You can tap your hand and pat your feet, and you're playing a percussion instrument. How about that?
Just that easy. Okay, now I have a few here at the music school that I'd like to show you.
Okay.
Okay, these are some drums. Most percussion instruments are categorized as a type of drum. And so here's a one that we use a lot. It's called Conga Drum.
A Conga Drum.
It's a Conga Drum. It's a Latin percussion instrument that they created in one of the Latin American countries.
Wow.
And on a Conga Drum, you have like an animal skin for the head. And then the shell is made of wood. And at the end of the drum, there's a hole where the sound comes out.
I see it. Do you see it, boys and
girls? You can probably see my hand.
We do. You see his hand? I see his hand.
All right. So this is a Conga drum.
That has a good sound to it.
And I was actually sitting on a percussion instrument just now. It's called a cajon.
Wow, it looks like a square box.
That's it. It's just a box.
Wow.
They made this so you could sit on it and get different sounds when you make when you want to play drums.
Oh, wow, that's super. What is it called again?
It's called a cajon.
A cajon. That's great.
All right.
How about that, boys and girls? A cajon.
Yes. I have a few on the desk here I'd like to show you.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Are you ready, boys and girls? This is great. Look at that.
This is one that makes noise when you scrape it. It's called a gyro.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yes. This is a shaker. They made it look like a basket. You know, they decorate them.
Right. And the first one, the other one was called a gyro.
Called a gyro.
And so when you scrape it, it's the ridges in it that's making that noise with the stick.
Yep, that's how you make the noise. And you can really, you hold it in one hand like this. And you use the drumstick or the, baton in the other hand to play it. So when you scrape across the ridges, you get a sound.
Yeah. That sounds like it would be fun to play, right, boys and girls?
Oh, yeah. And that's the shaker. It's like a little basket that's covered at the bottom, and you have little beads inside.
Wow. That's interesting.
And this is one that I really like. It's called a Kibasa.
A Kibasa?
It's called a Kibasa, and the way you play it is there's some beads on the outside of the stick, and you can, when you turn it, they slide.
You, boys and girls, I see the beads. Can you see them sliding?
See?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they scrape against the inside of the instrument.
That's great, and that's called the Kibasa. Wonderful.
All right, and this is one you probably are very familiar with.
What is that, boys and girls? What are we looking at? What is it?
It's a drum set.
Yes.
It's a drum set. We play the drum set with our drumsticks.
Mr. Joseph, before you play it, can we see the drum set again? Boys and girls, how many drums do you see on that drum set? Is there any way to count them? Let's see. How many? It looks like quite a bit. How many drums do we see? Let's count.
We got 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
5.
We have 5 drums. And then we have these.
What are
These
those?
are called cymbals.
Cymbals. How many cymbals do we see?
This is 1. And if you look really close, it's actually 2 cymbals put together.
Right, there's another one.
There's one on the top and one on the bottom. They call this a hi-hat.
A hi-hat.
It's special because the cymbals can go together and come apart.
Yeah, that's nice. So that's 2.
Yep, so you got 2 right there. This is called a crash cymbal.
A crash cymbal.
Because it makes a big crashing sound.
Ah, it does sound like a crash.
And this one is a little bit bigger, and it's called the ride cymbal.
The ride cymbal.
And it has a higher sound.
Okay.
I
think I've heard that in music before.
Oh, yeah. So let's try the drums out.
Okay.
All right. So this one's called a snare drum. And it has a kind of funny sound because they made it with something very special on the bottom of the drum.
Okay.
It's called snares.
Oh, look at that. So what is it, like little chains, or what is it?
Yeah, it's like little pieces of metal or like a little spring.
Okay.
And they touch the plastic part so that when you hit the drum, they vibrate just a little bit, and they go back and forth and give you like a kind of sound.
So that's what vibrate means, boys and girls. It's going. The pieces of metal are going back and forth, right, Mr. Joseph?
They go back and forth like that, just a little bit whenever you hit the drum. Right. It's so small you really can't see it happen.
Look at that.
But that's what happens.
That's interesting. We're learning so much good stuff today. We're learning a lot of information.
Yeah, so that's the snare drum. And this is a tom. This is a tom-tom. This is a tom-tom. And this is one.
Wow, 3 tom-toms.
I got a question.
Okay.
Which tom-tom has the highest sound? The little one, the middle one, or the big one?
Oh my goodness, boys and girls. I think I'm going to answer for us, and I hope I'm correct, but it sounds like the largest tom-tom has the highest tune.
Let's listen for the little one, the middle one, and the big one. Which one has the highest pitch sound?
The highest pitch sound. Can you do it one time?
Yep. That's the little one. This is the middle one. And the big one.
Okay, the tiny one has the highest pitch sound.
Yes. And which one has the lowest sound?
The biggest one.
The biggest one. So whenever you make drums, the smaller your drum, the higher the sound.
Okay. Did you hear that, boys and girls? The smaller the drum, the higher the sound.
And we got one more drum.
Okay.
It's this one.
Oh, it's a huge one on the floor.
Yeah, it's called the bass drum.
The bass drum. Okay.
So here's a question. Do you think it's going to have a low sound or a high sound?
I would guess it's going to have like a really low sound.
You're right, because it's a really big drum.
Yeah.
And we use a foot pedal to play it. We're going to put my foot right here and hit the bass drum and hear a big low sound.
Yeah, it's a big, low, full sound.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. All right.
I think when it comes to hearing the drums in the set, that bass drum really, it gives that, you know, that kick in the beat, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody stomps their feet when they hear the bass drum.
Yes.
That's the way it works. I have one more instrument. Can we do it?
Yes, we can do it. We're excited, Mr. Joseph.
All right. So this one's in the other room. I'm gonna take you over there. It's something most people never think is a percussion instrument.
Okay.
Here we go.
He's taking us on a little journey, boys and girls. Here we go.
All right. So here we go.
Ready,
set, tell me, what is this?
Oh my goodness. What is it, boys and girls? What is that we're looking at? Who knows?
It's a piano.
Yay, it's a piano. How many of us knew a piano was a percussion instrument? Wow.
Yes, it is, because whenever you play the notes on your piano, your finger is pressing down on the key, and when you look inside the piano,
oh, look at that.
you have little hammers.
What are those called? Hammers?
Yeah, these are hammers, and they hit your strings.
Is that why they're called hammers? Because they're hitting the strings, Mr. Joseph?
Mm-hmm. And they look like hammers, too. You see, it looks like a little hammer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So the inside of your piano has hammers.
That's interesting.
Yep, and your hammers hit the strings, and that's why they make it a percussion instrument.
Oh, can we see how that works a little bit?
Yeah, here we go.
Wow, boys and girls, did you see that? The hammers are hitting the strings, but I don't know about you, but I recognize what he was playing. Who know what he was playing? Who know the tune that he was playing? It sound like to me, let me make sure I'm correct. It sound like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
That's it.
Okay.
Very good, very good.
That was great.
Yes, ma'am. So that's all of my percussion instruments that I have today.
Well, boys and girls, can we use our percussion instruments that we just discovered today and give Mr. Joseph a big hand?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for just taking us on a journey to learn and explore about percussion instruments. And I know we won't be able to name all of them, but let's just review for just a moment. Boys and girls, once again, we discovered that our hands are percussion, our feet are percussions. He is sitting on a square box that's called, is it a cajon?
That's it, a cajon.
A cajon. He's sitting on a cajon, and then there is the instrument behind him made of wood. And what is that called again?
The Conga Drum.
The Conga Drum. I want to make sure I say it correct. There's the set of drums and the cymbals. We went in the other room and we saw the piano, and we also discovered some neat instruments that was sitting on the desk.
Yes.
Again, Mr. Joseph, for this wonderful session. Okay, he's showing us. Okay, what is that called again?
That's the gyro.
The gyro. Okay.
The shaker.
The shaker.
And a kibasa.
And a kibasa. And so, boys and girls, when you come across seeing these instruments again, you're going to know what they are. Even if you don't remember the words of them or the names of them, you're going to remember seeing them here on Blossoming Word with Mr. Joseph. Mr. Joseph, can you tell us again, where is, how do we contact you? For those that would like to contact, well, before we ask that, all of those percussion instruments that we were looking at in your school, you give music lessons. What are the instruments that you provide to teach? What instruments do you teach music lessons for?
Well, we teach, of course, we teach drums, and we'll use all of these percussion instruments in helping to learn how to play the drums.
Okay.
And we teach the piano, and we teach guitar, and we teach bass guitar.
And awesome. Now, Mr. Joseph, is a guitar also a percussion instrument?
Well, guitar is not a percussion instrument.
Okay.
That's classified as a string instrument.
It's classified as a string instrument. And that's awesome that you're telling us that, because someone might have said, okay, well, isn't that one because you strike it or you strum it, but it's a string instrument that you're strumming, right?
Correct.
So that's awesome. We are so thankful to have this time with you, that you would just allow us to explore more about percussion instruments. And tell us, where are you located?
I'm located at 8932 Plank Road, and it's right across from the airport next to the Saintsville Church.
Awesome. And what is the phone number to your academy?
It's 225-358-7100.
Awesome. Thank you again. I'm going to get that information from Mr. Joseph and include it in the content for our video here, so that you'll be able to reach him in case if you don't if you didn't catch it, to write it down. I'm going to include it in the writing. We want to thank you again, Mr. Joseph, for this session on percussion instruments. We appreciate you and all that you do in the community in teaching our children and adults music. So boys and girls, moms and dads, I want to ask you to have a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining us here on Blossoming Word Children's segment, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you again, Mr. Joseph. We'll see you another time. God bless.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
So did we. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.